Dandy escapes from marriage. Chapter 53. In the study, both families sat facing each other, listening as their two sons recounted the entire misunderstanding. It's actually quite simple. Both of us didn't want to proceed with the arranged marriage, so we ran away from home. As luck would have it, fate intervened and we ended up meeting anyways, Lu Shu stated. Shen Cao nodded in support. I encountered bandits at the time and was robbed clean. Fortunately, Ah Cao took me in. Then I saw his kind heart. Despite his poverty, he treated me extremely well. So, I stayed to help out, and gradually our hearts connected, Lu Shu continued with a chuckle. Ah, Shen Cao acknowledged. But because we initially disguised our identities and later feared the other would dislike us, we were waiting for the right moment to confess. We didn't expect it to happen now, Lu Shu explained. Lu Shu immediately looked at Master Shen Yanqing and Madame Shen with an innocent expression. Please believe me, I am truly innocent. I didn't know beforehand that Ah Cao was from the Shen family, so I pretended to flirt in the brothel to prompt you to propose cancelling the marriage. Shen Cao also explained to Master Lu, I also deliberately disguise myself to be unattractive, with the same intention. There was a long silence. The two nervously looked at the four elders. After a moment, Shen Cao solemnly knelt down and said, I earnestly request Master Lu and Mrs. Liu's consent for my marriage with Xiao Wu. I will do my utmost to ensure his future happiness and well-being. Seeing this, Lu Shu's heart melted, and he also knelt down with a splash, promising to Master and Madame Shen, please rest assured, I have set my heart on Ah Cao for this lifetime. I won't marry anyone else. Only then did the expressions of Master Shen Yanqing and Madame Shen change slightly, looking at Shen Cao with a mixture of surprise and perplexity. Shen Cao, ... Dad, Mom, Lu Shu immediately signaled to his parents, prompting them to speak. Lu Yuejia glanced over at Shen Cao's determined face and turned to Master and Madame Shen to say, is this your first time in Jinling? Would you like to go out for a stroll? Jinling at night has a unique charm. Oh, sure, since we're here for the first time, we should take a look, Madame Shen immediately agreed and looked at Shen Yanqing, would you like to come? I'll pass. I promised Lao Lu to finish writing the letters just now. You two go and enjoy yourselves, Shen Yanqing replied. Right, please come inside, Master Shen, Lao Lu Tuo promptly invited him into the study. So, Lu Yuejia took Madame Shen out to the street, while the two elders went to the study to write letters, leaving the two young people kneeling here. The two looked at each other and Lu Shu said in confusion, they're just going to leave us like this. Let's get up, Shen Cao smiled, took his hand and stood up, it's settled. What's settled? They didn't even say anything, Lu Shu still looked bewildered. They came to discuss breaking off the engagement according to our wishes. Now that we don't need to break it off, everyone is happy. My parents won't be seen as untrustworthy, so they're relieved. That makes sense. If I marry into your Shen family, people would look up to my dad when he goes out, Lu Shu whispered to him. Shen Cao smiled. So, what do we do now? Lu Shu thought for a moment and asked, should I take you around Jinling? Sure. After leaving the Lu residence, Lu Shu took him to the main street, talking about everything they saw. I used to sneak back home only after curfew, climbing over many roofs and picking locks. I also drank a lot with friends on top of this tree, Lu Shu pointed to a big tree nearby and said, once I fell down after getting drunk and the next day I didn't remember anything, but I felt that my whole body was aching. I thought my friend beat me up while I was unconscious, so I went out again and beat him up. Shen Cao couldn't help but smile, looking at the tree. It was as if he could see the scene of the half-grown teenager lying drunk on the branches, feeling a bit envious and regretful. It would have been great if we had known each other since childhood. I've never messed around with friends. Lu Shu wondered, what about your friends? Because I was not very healthy when I was young, I rarely went out. Among the children of the aristocratic families, many have strict rules and are not daring. Even if we occasionally meet, we just exchange poems. Hey, Lu Shu thought about that scene and felt a bit of a headache. No wonder you can't handle alcohol. Haven't you ever drunk with others before? I've drunk several times but only played drinking games. I've never lost, so I never had a chance to drink. Lu Shu suddenly laughed. When you get married, don't get drunk. Otherwise, I'll he. Not knowing what he was thinking, his smile gradually turned twisted, and Shen Cao stared at his profile, slowly curling up his own mouth. Soon they arrived at the bustling city center where most of the shop were. Lu Shu introduced carelessly, "This shop belongs to the Lu family, and that one too. Any sign with the word Lu on it belongs to our family. If you want something, just take it and say my name." Shen Cao's mouth twitched, feeling that unreal feeling rise in his heart again. Lu Shu went into 4 or 5 shops in a row, got Shen Cao several sets of new clothes and shoes, jade pendants, sachets, jade crowns, and waistbands, covering him from head to toe. Still not satisfied, he wanted to empty the whole store. Okay, Shen Cao hurriedly stopped him, "These are enough. I can't wear them all, and wearing them to work in the fields would be a waste." "You're right." Lu Shu turned and said, "Bring out a few more sets of the cheapest clothes from the shop for us to wear while farming." "Hey!" The shopkeeper looked incredulous. "Young Master Lu? You? Farming?" After gathering everything they needed, they had it sent directly to the Lu residence, then continuing their stroll with Shen Cao. Well, Shen Cao chuckled, thinking of something, "If I had known your family was so wealthy, I wouldn't have to use an excuse to give that 900 liang." An excuse? Lu Shu remembered the over 900 liang Shen Cao had given him, claiming it was a thank you gift from Lord Zhao, to use for business collateral. "Was it yours?" Shen Cao nodded, "I sold a pair of calligraphy paintings. When you got sick, I used that money." Lu Shu quickly grasped the reason, "You sold those paintings because of me." Shen Cao hesitated briefly, realizing he had let it slip. That was way even before they realized their own feelings. Lu Shu was deeply moved and grabbed him, pulling him into a nearby alley to kiss him passionately. People were passing by outside and Shen Cao blushed slightly. When he heard footsteps approaching from the street, he turned, pulling Lu Shu into the alley and continued kissing him, completely shielding their faces. "Ah!" 2 girls only vaguely saw 2 figures and hurriedly blushed and ran away. When the 2 emerged from the alley, their faces were flushed. Lu Shu licked his lips as if he hadn't had enough. Walking into the crowd, their shoulders brushed, then suddenly his fingers were being held by someone. Lu Shu smirked and glanced back at Shen Cao, then his fingers moved slightly, intertwining their 10 fingers together. "Hey, isn't this young Master Lu? Is he back in Jinling?" "Yes. If you have time, come to our restaurant." "No problem. Young Master Lu, it's been a while since you visited our gambling house, come by sometime." I heard there's a beautiful lady at Drunken Cloud Pavilion again, young Master Lu, have you seen her?" No, I'm not going. I've turned over a new leaf." "You can't do that. I heard young Master Lu went to the brothel yesterday." Lu Shu quickly pulled Shen Cao out of the crowd, smiling awkwardly, "Ah Cao, let's go buy some stationery." Shen Cao smiled and looked at him, saying nothing. "I really have turned over a new leaf, you must believe me." Lu Shu scratched the palm of his hand. Seeing that he didn't speak, he kept scratching until Shen Cao felt a little ticklish. "Mom. What's with the mom? Even if you call me mom, I won't let you go." Lu Shu was having fun and was just about to tickle him in the ribs, when he suddenly glimpsed his mother's figure with Madame Shen beside her. He was startled. He let go of Shen Cao at once and stood properly by Shen Cao's side, respectfully calling, "Mom." Both, "Mom," The two mothers were not without their own gains. Their servants and escorts carried large and small packages in their hands. As they approached, they noticed the swollen lips of the two people, their footsteps suddenly stopped, turned their heads, and stared deeply at each other. I still want to shop some more. How about you, Yueju? I'm the same. Come on, let me show you our most handsome little in a restaurant. The two ladies supported each other as they left. Lu Shu was puzzled again, why are they ignoring us? Even Shen Kao was confused this time, wondering, could it be that they want to give us some time alone? I don't think so. Lu Shu pondered for a moment, then suddenly realized, your mother didn't even look at me properly just now. Could it be that she does not like me? No, that's impossible. Who wouldn't like you? Don't just assume based on yourself. Think about how your mother is a knowledgeable and sensible person. Would she like me, someone who lacks talent and virtue and only has some looks? She would, Shen Kao asserted. Lu Shu sighed. Just then, a group of people walked by, dressed flamboyantly, laughing and chatting loudly. One of them suddenly pointed over and said, "Isn't that Lu Shu? Lu Shu, you're finally back." The group surrounded him excitedly. "Where have you been? Jinling isn't the same without you. Come on, let's go for drinks." "I'm not going. I have something to do." "What could you possibly have to do? Didn't you run away from marriage? Why are you back so soon?" "I came back to get married." "What?" Shen Kao also looked at him. Lu Shu grinned mischievously and pointed at Shen Kao, "Come on, everyone, meet the person I'm marrying. This is Shen Kao, a gentleman from the capital." The group was stunned, their jaws dropping. His closest friend was shocked and asked, "Didn't you run away from marriage because you didn't want to marry a man? How come you're marrying a man now? It's a priceless happiness." Lu Shu stood proudly with his hands on his hips. "You sure know how to play, brother." His good friend Wang Lianyu gave him a thumbs up, while others felt inferior, unable to match this rebellious inclination towards same-sex love. "But why do I feel?" Wang Lianyu approached Shen Kao, circled him twice, and exclaimed, "This gentleman is too handsome. No wonder you suddenly turned to same-sex love." "Exactly." Lu Shu looked even prouder. Shen Kao calmly let the group scrutinize him, smiling gently as he offered, "Drinks, anyone?" Everyone cheered, "Cheers." Lu Shu looked at him in surprise and whispered, "Do you really want to drink?" "Yeah." Shen Kao actually understood that he wanted to meet and get to know his friends through this opportunity. The group headed to the restaurant in high spirits. Lu Shu hadn't seen them in a while, and once they got seated, they began drinking and chatting. They assumed he had been off enjoying himself elsewhere and didn't inquire about his adventures, but were curious how he managed to hook up with such a handsome man. "You might not believe it, but he's actually my fiancé." Everyone, "What?" Lu Shu briefly recounted the story, and after hearing it, everyone poured him a drink, saying, "Go on, spin us another tale." "I'm telling you the truth." Lu Shu slapped the table. "You used to say you fell in love at first sight with Chang'e," Wang Lianyu mercilessly teased, exposing his old story. Shen Kao chuckled quietly. Blushing, Lu Shu retorted, "I did not." "Oh, come on. I've known you since you were 3. I've heard all your nonsense. Oh, and I remember, your penchant for same-sex love wasn't without precedent. You used to say you wanted to marry a man someday." Wang Lianyu finished, and the table erupted in laughter. "Is that true?" Shen Kao turned to Lu Shu with a smile, "Do you still want to marry that someone?" "How would I know? Don't listen to him, he's full of nonsense." Lu Shu quickly interjected, feeling extremely embarrassed. "Then let me ask you, when you were 4, did you visit the capital and meet a handsome little boy?" Wang Lianyu asked. "How do you even know that?" Because when you came back, you complained to me endlessly about how annoying that kid was, always talking gibberish. He gave you a headache, and you even fought with him. If he hadn't been so good looking, you would have wanted to bring him to Jinling to boss him around every day. You even said you wanted to marry him someday, so you could boss him around all the time. Wang Lianyu laughed at his own joke, pouring a drink into his glass. So, is there any truth to it? If yes, drink this glass. Lu Shu was stunned for a while before slowly looking at Shen Cao. If what he said is true, that little boy might be. It's me. Those faint memories seemed like scattered pearls in the river of time, finally stringing together in this moment. Suddenly, Shen Cao took the glass of wine, drank it in one gulp, and laughed. I'll drink this glass for him. Wang Lianyu exclaimed, you have such a good drinking capacity. Before anyone could respond, Shen Cao collapsed onto the table. Everyone, ... I'll take him home first. Let's meet another day. Lu Shu helped him up and led him out, hiring a sedan as soon as they left the restaurant. Just as they were about to put him into the sedan, a hand suddenly wrapped around Lu Shu's waist, pulling him forward and causing him to fall onto Shen Cao. A passionate kiss came like a storm, faintly carrying the scent of wine. I guess you're not really drunk, Lu Shu smiled lightly. Slowly opening his eyes, Shen Cao looked at him with a smile full of meaning. I just really wanted to kiss you, but not in front of so many people. Aren't you shy? Not at all. Shen Cao's fingers brushed against his lips. I just didn't want others to see how enchanting you look when you've been kissed. It's too irresistible. Lu Shu lowered his head, his nose touching Shen Cao's, looking down at his slightly flushed cheeks, his moist eyes seeming as if they had been brewed with wine, emitting a fatal attraction towards him. He couldn't help but murmur, I'm not sure who's more enchanting. Their lips met again, intertwining passionately. At that moment, a familiar voice sounded from outside, there's a sedan here, let's go back. The curtain suddenly lifted, and Lu Shu turned to see his mother. Madame Shen stood behind Lu Yueju, immediately noticing her own son being kissed, which was quite a shock. The two mothers looked at each other, then looked inside the sedan, then glanced at each other again. Madame Shen reluctantly said, I think I'd like to stroll around a bit more. How about you, Yueju? Of course, I'll accompany you to the end. Let's go, let's keep strolling. Lu Yueju turned and quickly fled from the scene. End chapter. Dandy escapes from marriage. Chapter 54. After getting off the sedan chair, Lu Shu supported the unsteady Shen Cao into the Lu family's residence. Several of his elder brothers were murmuring in the main hall, discussing something unknown. As soon as they saw Lu Shu bringing a man inside, mocking voices immediately arose. You little brat! Are you asking for trouble? Master Shen is still in our house, and you dare to bring this strange man here. If you mess around, don't drag us down with you. Quickly throw this strange man out. Even though young Master Shen from the Shen family is not particularly handsome, he's more than suitable for you. Considering his background and yours, there's still some match. Come to think of it, have anyone seen that young Master Shen from the Shen family since we finished dinner? The group glanced at each other, shrugged their shoulders, and shook their heads. Are you finished? Lu Shu asked expressionlessly, if you're done, make way. Don't be like annoying dogs blocking the road. Who do you think you're talking to us like that, little brother? Do you believe I'm the one who's going to marry into the Shen family? Watch your words and actions. Lu Shu suddenly smiled. The four men were stunned, looking at him incredulously. After a while, the eldest brother asked, are you really going to marry into the Shen family? Yeah, considering his background and mine, if he can appreciate me, it's my good fortune. Lu Shu sneered contemptuously, giving them a disdainful glance. How you treat me in the future, think carefully about it yourselves. The group remained motionless, seemingly pondering the situation. At this moment, the person who had been groggy all along slowly raised his head, staring directly at the four of them. Hiss! This lad really had a unique temperament. Just as the four were astonished by his appearance, they heard him ask, "What makes you look down on him, considering your backgrounds? Though you came from the same roots, why do you single him out? No, you have no right to speak here. Get out while young Master Shen from the Shen family isn't here or you'll regret it." The fourth brother threatened harshly. "I am the young Master Shen from the Shen family." The four men were dumbfounded for a while, then waved their hands. Go, 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 stop acting drunk here. Ah cow, let's go." Lu Shu couldn't be bothered with them anymore, supporting Shen Cao as they prepared to walk towards the inner courtyard, only to run into Lao Lu Tuo. "Why are you still standing here instead of resting? Are you going to guard the door?" Lao Lu Tuo scolded them, then saw Shen Cao and immediately greeted him warmly. "Young Master Shen, did you go out to play with Xiao Wu? Come back and rest properly." The four were astonished, and the fourth brother asked in a low voice, "Father, is he really young Master Shen? Isn't young Master Shen supposed to be different? How did he end up like this?" "Shut up!" Lao Lu Tuo quickly lowered his voice and reprimanded him. "Wait!" Shen Cao turned around and pointed at them. "You four, for your misconduct, each of you will copy the Book of Ethics 500 times." The four men looked at Lao Lu Tuo in horror. Lao Lu said, "What are you looking at? Do as he says and write copies." The four. Soon after, Lu Yuezhuo and Madame Shen also returned to the mansion and went to their respective rooms. A moment later, Madame Shen planned to find Shen Cao for a chat but didn't see him in the guest rooms. After asking around, she found out that he had been taken to Lu Shu's room. Madame Shen's eyebrows twitched. She pressed her chest, took a deep breath, and then asked a servant to bring her over there so she could fetch him back. But who would have expected that as soon as she reached Lu Shu's door, she saw a woman eavesdropping by the door. The two women stared at each other. Lu Yuezhuo smiled awkwardly and pointed to a nearby seat. Madame Shen shook her head. Lu Yuezhuo silently invited again. Madame Shen pretended to compromise, took 3 steps forward, approached the door, and heard Lu Shu's voice inside, all right, wash your face and go to sleep." "Where are you going?" Shen Cao asked as he laid drunkenly on the bed. "I'm going to get you a glass of water." Lu Shu sat on the edge of the bed, preparing to get up but was pulled back. With one hand propping up the bed edge, he looked down at him. "I'm not thirsty." Lu Shu lowered his gaze and rolled his throat slightly. "I'm a bit thirsty." Before he finished speaking, a large hand pressed against the back of his head, and he fell into his arms, lips meeting in a light, misty kiss, warming the air around them. Suddenly, Lu Shu heard a noise outside the door. He quickly raised his head. "Who's out there?" Footsteps hurriedly retreated. Lu Shu got up to catch the person but forgot that he was still holding Shen Cao's hand. With a tug, he pulled Shen Cao towards the edge of the bed. Shen Cao didn't check his balance, leaned back, and fell off the bed. "Ah cow!" The next day, when Lu Shu opened his eyes, he found Shen Cao already up. Rubbing his eyes sleepily, he asked, "Isn't your head hurting?" "Not really, just a slight buzz, not a hangover." Shen Cao was dressed neatly, exploring his room. "Does your butt still hurt?" Lu Shu asked again. Shen Cao replied, "It's nothing serious. It hurt a little bit." The room was spacious, filled with all sorts of curious and ancient artifacts. He picked up a smoking pipe at random and asked, "Do you use this?" "No, this was something I won in a bet with someone before. They said it's a treasure left from the previous dynasty." Lu Shu rolled out of bed, ran over in 3 steps, and introduced it. "This is fake, you've been deceived." Lu Shu felt thunderstruck. A servant knocked on the door, entering with water to assist Lu Shu in dressing. Shen Cao stood by, watching lazily as the maid opened his arms and hands, then the maid helped him put on his clothes and bent over to help him put on his shoes. Another maid handed him a twisted handkerchief, which he returned after wiping his face. Finally, another maid specially tied up his hair, and when he opened the cabinet, there were dozens of jade crowns and hairpins. Even the jade hairpin was so much, so why was there only one set of clothes? He threw this question out, and Lu Shu looked at him with more confusion. Don't you fit all your clothes in one room? Lu Shu took him to the next room, pushed open the door, and inside were hundreds and thousands of closets, filled with clothes. Shen Cao, ... It was not until now did he finally had a true understanding of how Lu Shu was in the past. He couldn't help feeling deeply moved. How did you endure for so long in the countryside? Of course, it's because of you. Only by enduring hardships can I pursue my beloved. Lu Shu held his hand and kissed him. Ahem. The two turned their heads and saw Lu Yuezhou leading Madame Shen. They hurriedly called out, "Mother! What are you still standing here for? Go have your meal." Lu Yuezhou said. "We're going." Lu Shu pulled Shen Cao and ran towards the direction of the main hall. After running a few steps, Shen Cao subconsciously rubbed his butt from the fall last night. Madame Shen, ... Lu Yuezhou smiled awkwardly, "Sister, since this matter has already happened, then we must get them married as soon as possible," Madame Shen said. During breakfast, 4 pairs of naked eyes stared straight at them. After a night of consideration, the elders didn't show the same panic and absurdity as they did last night, but instead kept scrutinizing them. Lao Lu and Lu Yuezhou seemed more satisfied the more they looked at Shen Cao, while Madame Shen's gaze grew more and more complex. "Don't look at me like that, quickly eat. Uncle and aunt, try this, it's a specialty snack from Jinling." Lu Shu enthusiastically served them food as he smiled. "I'm sorry for the awkwardness last night, but I promise to behave properly from now on. You can all supervise me. I heard from your mother about your affairs in the countryside, and naturally, I trust Ah Cao's judgment." "You're a good child," Madame Shen said, taking out a jade pendant from her bosom and handing it to him. "This is a jade pendant left by Ah Cao's grandmother for her son-in-law." Lu Shu looked surprised at the jade pendant, then turned to Shen Cao, who nodded. He immediately gratefully accepted it. "Thank you, aunt." Lu Yuezhou kicked Lao Lu under the table. Lao Lu whispered, "When my mother passed away, you weren't even in the family yet, so there's nothing left behind." Unable to give such a sentimental gift, Lu Yuezhou had to take a practical approach. She went back to her room and brought out a box, placing it in front of Shen Cao. Opening the lid, she said, "This is also a token of our goodwill. Please accept it." Inside were rows of gold ingots, each topped with silver notes worth 10,000 taels, stunning the 3 members of the Shen family. "You can't use this, we haven't even started the process of discussing engagement gifts and dowries yet," Madame Shen hurriedly closed the lid. "This isn't an engagement gift or dowry, just a token of our meeting. It's rare for our Lu Shu to meet someone he sincerely likes, so we're giving a modest gift, which is only right," Lu Yuezhou said. "What modest gift?" Madame Shen felt a little dizzy. Shen Cao said, "Aunt, I appreciate your kindness, but this. If you want to be with Lu Shu, then accept this." Lu Yuezhou sighed deeply. "I know more than anyone that Lu Shu can be a bit of a rogue." Lu Shu whispered, "As if she's not my biological mother. We haven't had time to control him every day. Our only requirement for him is to live happily, so he's used to being willful and never suffer any injustice before. Let alone him doing business, wearing clothes that he doesn't usually wear, yelling at neighbors, taking care of the people around him, and keeping his rebellious temper. He had never suffered any of that before." Lu Yuezhou solemnly pushed the box to him again. "I'm the one who gave him life, and you are the one who let him have a new life, so this is also a thank you gift for making him change his ways, and thank you for wanting to marry him." As she spoke, Her eyes slowly turned red. Lu Shu guessed that she was thinking about the bad prediction that said that he would not live past the age of 18. Until he did, her heart would remain in doubt, and thus she was grateful to the Shen family. Just take it, this thing is nothing to our family, Lu Shu urged. Shen Cao thought for a moment and said, "Thank you," and accepted it generously. The Shen family was originally scheduled to return to the capital that day, but they did not expect that the cancellation of the engagement would turn into such a good thing. Since they had come together, they decided to stay for another day and discuss the marriage arrangement with the Lu family. "We've prepared the betrothal gifts," Lu Yuejia smiled. "Lu Shu told me early that he wanted to marry Ah Cao, so I came back to prepare, and I didn't expect it to come in handy." Betrothal gift. Shen Yanqing was slightly surprised and a little embarrassed. Even if it is a betrothal gift, it should be our family's responsibility. Yes, we have prepared the dowry." Lao Lu immediately smoothed things over and gave Lu Yuejia a meaningful look. After a brief thought, Lu Yuejia thought of the intricacies of this and almost forgot that the Shen family was an aristocratic family from the capital. If they want to marry their son to a businessman's illegitimate son, they will inevitably be ridiculed. The fact that they don't care about Lu Shu's identity and allow them to marry is already a lucky thing. This superficial effort still needs to be coordinated privately, but she looked triumphantly at Lu Shu, and said to herself, "Indeed, my son is good." After the 3 books and 6 rites, they continued to discuss the matter of matchmakers and guests. "As for matchmakers, I have a proposal." Shen Cao had just started speaking when a servant came in and interrupted. "Master, Madam, there's someone outside looking for you," saying they were sent by the young master. Master Lu and Lu Yuejia looked at Lu Shu in puzzlement. Lu Shu raised his head and was even more puzzled. "I'm here myself, why would I send anyone to look for Dad and Mom?" The man said he was entrusted by the young master to bring something back to the 2 elders. Lu Shu remembered for a moment and suddenly looked at Shen Cao. Then Lu Shu came into a realization. He said, "I gave a piece of amber pendant to a brother who's a general. When he came to Jinling, he'll give it to ask my mother for some money to buy good clothes for my future bride." Shen Cao stopped and his eyes were deep. "Who is this bride?" "Of course it's you. Who else could it be?" Lu Shu asked sincerely. End chapter. Dandy escapes from marriage. Chapter 55. Shen Cao whispered a few words in Shen Yanqing's ear, causing Shen Yanqing's expression to change slightly. He quickly stood up and led his wife out to greet them. Lao Lu Tuo was curious, but before he could ask, Lu Shu said, "It seems General Yan and Lord Xiao have arrived." If someone just mentioned Lord Xiao, Lao Lu might have asked which Lord Xiao it was. But once General Yan was mentioned along with it, he immediately knew exactly which Lord Xiao they were referring to. He hurriedly went out. "Are you kidding me? General Yan and Lord Xiao coming to our mansion? Are they here to help deliver your token?" As they walked out of the gate, they saw a friendly-looking man standing in front of a carriage approaching them. He asked, "Who is Mrs. Lu?" "I am." Lu Yuejia stepped forward. The man handed the amber pendant to her and conveyed, "Your son is in trouble. Quickly take some silver to save him." Lu Yuejia. Others were also puzzled, all looking at Lu Shu. Lu Shu asked curiously, "Who are you? Where's General Yan? Where's Lord Xiao?" At this moment, the curtain of the carriage was lifted, revealing the distinct profile of Yan Mingting. He turned his head and smiled, "Oh, you two are already back. Big brother, long time no see." Lu Shu walked up to the carriage without any hesitation, asking with a smile, "Why did you just arrive?" "We played around on the road for a while. It's rare to meet again. Can you teach me martial arts this time?" Lu Shu eagerly rubbed his hands. Lao Lu was shocked and quickly bowed. This humble one greets General Yan. "No need for formalities, we're just here to help deliver something," Yan Mingting smiled. Lu Shu asked again, what about Lord Xiao? Yan Mingting moved aside a bit and only then did Lu Shu see Zhao Yelan leaning on his shoulder, asleep. He sighed regretfully, what a pity, I was thinking of inviting you two to Jinling to have a look around. Jinling has so much good food and fun things to do. We're about to have a meal. Would you like to join us and taste the delicacies of Jinling? At that moment, the sleeping person suddenly opened his eyes. Since young Master Lu sincerely invited us, let's do it. Yan Mingting, ... Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Lao Lu never expected that his residence would be entertaining three prominent figures all at the same time. He smiled like a Buddha and quickly welcomed them inside, then gathered the servants to prepare for lunch. After sitting down, the other sons got the news and hurried over, bowing nervously while secretly observing the two dignitaries. Sitting on the side, they dared not make a sound and behaved very respectfully. Lord Zhao, General Yan, how have you been recently? Shen Yanqing asked. Pretty good. Is everything going smoothly in the court? Zhao Yelan asked. Shen Yanqing nodded with a smile. His Majesty has been mentioning you recently, wanting you to return sooner. There's no rush, let him be anxious, Zhao Yelan said, then looked at Shen Cao and smiled lightly. Your whole family has come to the Lu family, isn't it because you already know that fifth brother Lu is the one engaged to you? Exactly. Shen Cao looked at him with some surprise. Did Lord Zhao knew from before? Zhao Yelan nodded, not hiding his amusement. Yes, I was quite curious about how things would develop between you. Shen Cao, ... So, are your two families here to discuss cancelling the engagement or arranging the marriage? Zhao Yelan asked. Of course it's for the marriage arrangement. Shen Cao smiled lightly. Since we have such affinity with Lord Zhao, would Lord Zhao be willing to be our matchmaker? Everyone was stunned. Shen Yanqing secretly signaled him not to speak recklessly. The other people had different expressions, but Lu Shu was as carefree as ever and echoed, that's right. It's fate that brought us together. Lord Zhao and General Yan are so affectionate, let us also share in this good fortune. The four brothers glanced at each other, each with a look of watching a good show. They never expected that a son born of a concubine would dare to ask the Prince Regent to be their matchmaker. Zhao Yelan pulled the corner of his mouth. I don't do things that are not beneficial to myself. If I act as your matchmaker, what will I gain? You will gain our love and respect. Lu Shu said sincerely. Zhao Yelan, ... Yan Mingting, sounds quite good. Zhao Yelan glanced at him before turning to Shen Cao for a normal conversation. Your Shen family is hosting a wedding. Why worry about finding a matchmaker? But no one is more suitable than Master Zhao for this. Shen Cao said frankly. Zhao Yelan chuckled ambiguously, because I pioneer the same-sex marriage. Because you deserve happiness. Shen Cao said sincerely. Zhao Yelan paused, then suddenly turned his head, scanning the surroundings, especially the young people from the Lu family who looked disdainful. After a moment, he looked at Lu Shu. Lu Shu's eyes were sincere and expectant, seemingly unaware that Shen Cao had hidden more important reasons within this request. But perhaps it was this kind of gaze that gave Shen Cao the courage to make such a request in front of everyone. I have a condition. Zhao Yelan said. Please go ahead. On the wedding night, and when you achieve fame after starting a family, you must not forget to establish a career. In the imperial examination 3 years from now, I want you to achieve top honors in all 3 categories. Do you dare to promise? The hall suddenly fell silent, even Shen Yanqing showed a difficult expression. Lu Shu whispered to Yan Mingting, Big brother, is achieving top honors in all 3 categories. Very difficult. Extremely difficult. These 3 honors refer to being the top scholar in the local exam, provincial exam, and the palace exam. Yan Mingting muttered to him, in our dynasty over the past 300 years, only one person has achieved top honors in all 3 categories. Shen Cao's father, Shen Yanqing, only achieved 2 and was already considered a rare talent. The topics and examiners in the local exam, provincial exam, and the palace exam are all different. It not only requires real talent and learning but also luck. It tests both physical and psychological aspects. Every factor must be at its best to have a chance to achieve top honors in all 3 categories. This was a bit daunting. Although he believed Ah Kao was very clever, it should still be very difficult to do this. He turned his head and quietly said to Shen Kao, "Let's not let him be the matchmaker and find another one." Shen Kao held his hand under the table, turned his palm up and clasped their fingers together. The warmth passed between them seemed to give him infinite strength. "I promise." Shen Kao replied firmly. Zhao Yelin raised an eyebrow slightly, looking at him with interest. There was a hint of admiration in his eyes as he reminded him, "I don't just need a verbal promise. If you can't do it, I will publicly announce to everyone that your marriage with him has nothing to do with me." "All right, it's a deal," Shen Kao said. After the food was served, the others sat stiffly, still immersed in shock just now. Shen Yanqing and his wife were surprised that Shen Kao dared to agree to such conditions. The brothers of the Lu family found it unbelievable that Lord Zhao had agreed to his request, followed by a moment of fear. Now that 5th brother has the backing of the Shen family and the Prince Regent and General Yan, who would dare to bully him in the future? After the meal was prepared, the servants filed out and the table was filled with delicious food. Lao Lu enthusiastically introduced them to these delicacies. The distinguished guests from the capital ate with relish. "Ah Kao, try this fish. It's tender and without any fishy taste. It's marinated using a special secret recipe that you can't find elsewhere." Lu Shu picked up a piece of fish for Shen Kao. Upon hearing this, Yan Mingting also picked up a piece and offered it to Zhao Yelin. "Try it. Ah Kao, taste this salted duck. I guarantee you'll want more after you taste it." Lu Shu scooped some duck meat into his bowl. Seeing this, Yan Mingting also picked up a duck leg and said, "Try it." Lu Shu glanced at him and continued to serve Shen Kao. "Ah Kao, here, try this." Yan Mingting also picked up a piece and put it in Zhao Yelin's bowl. Zhao Yelin picked up the piece of fatty intestines and threw it into his bowl. "I don't eat that." "Then I will." Yan Mingting quickly ate it. After the meal, in order to fulfill the duties of the host, Lu Shu took them to visit the sites of Jinling. This group of people were all striking in appearance and temperament. Some recognized Lu Shu but didn't know the others, so they enthusiastically inquired about them. Lu Shu simply said they were friends to avoid unnecessary trouble. When they passed by a large gambling house, Zhao Yelin suddenly stopped in his tracks. "Yan Mingting, ... I wonder if the games here are the same as in the capital," Zhao Yelin said calmly. This gambling house was the largest establishment in the city, with an interior that was impressively decorated. Lu Shu asked, "Shall we go in and take a look?" "Let's go." Shen Yanqing wasn't interested in this and found an excuse to take his wife back first. Once inside the gambling house, Zhao Yelin looked around and then sat down at one of the tables. After playing for a while and collecting the winnings in front of him with waning interest, he said to Yan Mingting, "Something's not right. It seems like the house deliberately let me win." Saying this, he turned to look at Lu Shu. Lu Shu asked, "Are you done playing?" Zhao Yelin noticed the dealer nodding and bowing to Lu Shu and asked, "Is he from your household?" "Yeah." "No wonder you don't play here. Let's change to another place." "Let's go. I'll take you to another place where we'll lose." Lu Shu immediately responded. "Okay." Shen Kao and Yan Mingting looked at these two who seemed intent on losing, exchanged a glance, and followed helplessly. After losing all their spare cash at another gambling house, Lu Shu and Zhao Yelin finally came out feeling unsatisfied. They realized it was already nearing dusk. Lu Shu took them to a painted boat to sail on the lake. From a nearby boat, beautiful singing could be heard, gradually fading away as it moved farther from them. They didn't stop the boat or invite the singers over to sing. It was just such casual eavesdropping that left a lingering aftertaste. Here, let's drink. Lu Shu poured wine for them, but only Yan Mingting enjoyed drinking. So the two of them started to drink together, while the other two went to the bow of the boat to enjoy the evening breeze. As night fell, Lu Shu originally wanted to invite them to stay overnight at the Lu family's residence, but they declined, saying that they would stay at an inn. So, he and Shen Cao accompanied them to the inn. On the way, when they saw someone making sugar figures, Yan Mingting walked up to the stall. He noticed Shen Cao following him and asked, "What are you following me for?" "I'm not following the general. I want to buy this," Shen Cao replied. The two stood at the stall waiting. Seeing that Zhao Yelan didn't come over, Lu Shu stood beside him and looking at Shen Cao's back. He asked quietly, "Lord Zhao, may I ask if people in the capital have any particular obsession with matchmakers?" Zhao Yelan chuckled softly, glanced at him sideways and assessed him with a few glances. "Do you really have no idea? Are you insulting me, or complimenting me?" Lu Shu shrugged and asked again, "Why did you ask him to achieve top honors in all 3 exams? If you didn't want to agree, why didn't you just refuse him directly?" "Just to see how determined he is," Zhao Yelan said. "Why do you think he asked me to be your matchmaker?" "Why? For you." Lu Shu was slightly taken aback. "You live in Jinling, carefree and unrestrained. You are unfamiliar with the status quo in the capital. There are many noble families there, often intermarrying to consolidate their family influence. I don't know why the Shen family chose to betroth to your family, but if you truly follow him to the capital, you will undoubtedly face criticism. A scion of a prestigious family with limitless prospects marrying a merchant's illegitimate son, the public opinion you'd face would be beyond your imagination," Zhao Yelan explained slowly. In truth, even in Jinling, Lu Shu had faced his share of disparagement. He remembered when he first attended school, children of those with power and privilege had called him derogatory names, but he had grown accustomed to it and no longer cared. "I don't care," Lu Shu said. "But Shen Cao cares. That's why he asked me to be the matchmaker, to add legitimacy to your marriage." Zhao Yelan paused, then continued, "He has the backing of the Shen family. Even if there's criticism, others won't dare to say much against him. But you have no political power or influence, so even if not in the capital, it would be as easy as crushing ants to bully you. He's asking me to stand up for you. By having me as the matchmaker, even if others want to criticize you, they'll have to think twice." These twists and turns were unexpected to Lu Shu. Upon reflection, he realized the depth of Shen Cao's intentions towards him. "He also promised me to achieve top honors in all 3 exams, not just for the matchmaker's sake. After all, we've only just met by chance. I'm not your father, I can't guarantee your lifetime security. If he wants you to be worry-free for a lifetime, he must have enough strength to shelter you from storms." Zhao Yelan glanced up at the approaching person, smiled briefly and quickly added, "You can also look forward to see what steps he can take for you." "What are you talking about?" Yan Mingting walked over with 2 sugar figures, handing one to him. Zhao Yelan had just taken it when Lu Shu strode towards the stall in front of them. Taking a bite of the sugar figure, he replied, "Nothing." "Aren't you paying?" Shen Cao said he'd do it. Yan Mingting stood shoulder to shoulder with him, taking a big bite. "Yet." Zhao Yelan ate calmly, "This is what we deserve." Shen Cao was reaching for money when someone hugged him from behind. He turned around and said gently, "What's wrong?" Lu Shu rubbed against his back and then turned to face him, unable to resist kissing his lips. "How can I make you understand that I truly, really love you? I already know, I've known for a long time." Shen Cao smiled, touched his cheek and whispered in his ear, "The shopkeeper is about to be shocked silly." Lu Shu couldn't care less about the shopkeeper's reaction, smiling as he embraced his neck, saying, "Let's not go home tonight." "Where to?" "The inn." Lu Shu hinted. Shen Cao lowered his eyes, staring at his now reddening neck and smiled faintly. Aren't you afraid your parents will find out you didn't come home tonight? They're used to it. And my parents? To make a good impression, Lu Shu decided to endure it, frowning as he said, then let's go home. Okay, remember to leave the door open for me. Shen Cao casually reminded. Lu Shu. End chapter.